U.S. government-funded studies on respiratory transmission of H5N1 as submitted to publications which you've just heard about. The manuscripts raise the dual-use research concerns in that they contain information that could be utilized to create a potentially human-transmissible form of H5N1 that could be intentionally released to threaten public health and security. In recognition of this, the U.S. government tasked our board with reviewing the unpublished manuscripts and making recommendations on their communication. All of our formal communication has gone directly to the U.S. government. A working group was established when this task first came to us, and the purpose of this was to assess the dual-use research implications of the two unpublished manuscripts and to consider both the risks and benefits of communicating the research results, and to provide a draft findings and recommendations to the full NSABB regarding the responsible communication of this research. The NSABB working group included a subset of NSABB voting members. It included U.S. federal agency representatives. In addition, outside subject matter experts were brought in to advise the group. The deliberations included in-depth review and discussion of the manuscripts. To say that this was in-depth would not do it justice. Over a period of not quite 2 months, there were many hundreds of hours of conference calls scheduled with this group in terms of going through in detail. We also had a question and answer session with the PIs themselves for the two manuscripts. We also utilized a previously created NSABB communication tool as a framework for the risk-benefit analysis communicating the information in the manuscripts. To date, the NSABB has largely spent its time understanding how we can best communicate research and believing that the full communication of research was by far the highest priority, as that is what is going to be the ultimate way that we really address many of the emerging infectious disease issues of our time. We developed draft recommendations for the full NSABB consideration. In the NSABB deliberations, which were in closed sessions due to the discussion of the unpublished information, we issued our findings and recommendation to the U.S. government. I must tell you that this group is a very intellectually advanced group as a whole, with 1 or 2 members stepping aside here. This is a group that is like trying to herd tigers. You do not make this group come to a singular conclusion because you want them to. Yet the vote for our recommendations were unanimous, 23-0. So I just want to emphasize that that was by itself, I think, an important statement. Points to consider here in terms of our communication tool in assessing the risk and benefits and communicating this research information with dual-use potential was first a general overall overview of the research information with dual-use potential, and we did that. We looked at the risk analysis, what are the potential issues there in depth. We looked at the benefit analysis in depth.